So Laboratorio Olfattivo is quickly becoming one of my favorite Italian niche houses. Are you guys familiar with this house? So they have just launched 3 new fragrances, 2 of which are created by Luca Maffei, 1 created by Jean-Claude Elena. And the fragrances are currently sold here in San Francisco at Ministry of Scent. And thanks to Ministry of Scent, they are doing a giveaway, 3 samples of each of the fragrances I'm going to talk to you about today to 3 different subscribers of this channel. So find out all about the latest Laboratorio Olfattivo fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about 3 new fragrances from Laboratorio Olfattivo. So we've got 1 created by Jean-Claude Elena from the Viaggio in Italia collection. It's Pompelmo, this one right here. And then we've got 2 in the regular line, one of which is called Tiglio Mirabilis, this one right here. Or maybe it's Tiglio, because it focuses on linden blossom. And then the third one is Miss You, this one right here. So 3 great fragrances, although I'll tell you my favorite of the 3, but I think there are definitely highlights here that you should check out. I'm going to start talking about Pompelmo first, created by Jean-Claude Elena. But as I was saying, the fragrances are sold at Ministry of Scent in San Francisco. If you're ever in town or nearby, stop in and check out these fragrances. I think this line is great, especially all 3 of these fragrances are only $120. Like, designer fragrances are now more expensive than niche, right? The prices are going really, really high, but these are priced at $120, which is really, really great, including the Citrusy one and the regular ones. So we're going to talk about Pompelmo first. This is it right here. This is a series of fragrances created by Jean-Claude Elena, who used to work with Hermes. He created a ton of Hermes fragrances, and of course he just launched a fragrance with Frederic Malle called Heaven Can Wait. This one is in a series of citrus-focused fragrances that also include Mandarino, which is my favorite, followed by Arancia Rossa, which is also my favorite. Then there's Pompelmo here, Bergamotto, and Limone. So my favorites are Mandarino, Arancia Rossa, followed by Pompelmo, Bergamotto, Limone, but they're all really great, focusing on these amazing citrus fruits. And this particular fragrance is Italian grapefruit, pink pepper, lentisk resin or mastic resin, which is the same thing, patchouli, vetiver. So these are the notes that are credited in this. And the way this one smells is very zingy, bitter, grapefruity. And that vetiver in here, to me, is acting a bit like cannabis. You guys probably have sampled the Mugler clone Fly Away, where that was grapefruit and cannabis. This kind of acts like that a little bit. There's no mention of cannabis, but there's that kind of bitter, grassy, herbal, camphoric touch in here that I'm picking up that's really, really prominent. Most likely it's the vetiver that's in here. It's quite a bit of vetiver, but definitely that bitterness is there with the grapefruit as well. I definitely think this is a really solid release. I much prefer Mandarino and Arancia Rossa. Those are really, really heavenly releases, but followed by Pompelmo at number 3. And this is in style of Jean-Claude Elena's Hermes fragrances, especially the Jardin collection that he did over at Hermes. There's something transparent about it, very ethereal, airy kind of citrusy fragrances. And if you like his creations, you definitely got to check out the Viaggio in Italia collection, and especially the latest one, Pompelmo, which is this one right here. Let me know if you already sampled these fragrances. Let's go ahead and quickly smell. Definitely. The grapefruit is really prominent, and with this grapefruit, you're getting the rinds. If you've ever peeled the grapefruit and you've got that smell on your fingers and hands, you definitely know how it smells. It's got that bitterness, very zing. It's also juicy and citrusy at the same time. Very, very unique smell. And for me, you can also smell the vetiver in here, and also has that kind of cannabis-like quality. Really, really prominent. It's definitely not my favorite in the series. Mandarino is definitely my favorite. It is such a welcoming smell, a really, really comforting kind of a citrus smell, followed by the Arancia Rossa, the blood orange. But this one's definitely up there at number 3. I like the bitterness, and definitely you know that you're going to get something very zingy, bitter, citrusy, juicy, and also earthy, grassy, and then a bit of a camphoric touch with that kind of cannabis-like reminder that's in here. So this is Pompelmo. This is it right here. And if you're one of the 3 winners, you get to sample that one very soon if you are selected as the winner. So as I was saying, these are all $120 for 100 ml. So price point is really great for these niche fragrances. If you're tired of designer and you want to kind of segue into niche and you don't want to spend a lot of money for niche, because niche fragrances can be very, very expensive, you can start out by discovering the fragrances of Laboratorio Olfattivo, because as I was saying, 100 ml for 120, there's fragrances that are made by the designers that are like getting close to the $200 mark in the signature line. So these are definitely much more affordable. So the next fragrance I'm talking about is Tiglio Mirabilis, or is it Tiglio Mirabilis? I should also say I sampled these at Aix-en-Provence, and I was really quite impressed with the quality of these 3 fragrances. So I was waiting for their launch, and they're finally launched, is what I should say. And this one to me is such a realistic linden blossom smell, very heavenly, very intoxicating, and also realistic smelling of the tree bloomed with the linden blossom or lime blossom blossoms, I should say. So this is Tiglio Mirabilis. I think it's Tiglio, maybe it's Tiglio, but it's Tiglio. It's linden blossom, lime blossom, which is the same thing. We've got jasmine here, you've got neroli, musk, cashmere wood, ginger, and cardamom. So there's definitely the yellow floral smell in here. It's really, really prominent. It's there. You definitely recognize it. If you've ever smelled linden blossom in real life, it's so realistic here. And recently, I mentioned in various videos, I was traveling in France and I came to a city and I got out of an Uber car and there were the blooms of the linden blossoms. It was the most intoxicating smell I had ever smelled. I didn't know it was linden blossom at the time. I looked around and said, where is this smell coming from? I found all the trees and I did the iPhone thing and it said it was lime blossom or linden blossom. So ever since then, I'm kind of obsessed with, finding that smell again, not only in person, but also in perfume. And here, it's so authentic to that situation, that day of discovery of linden blossom, that I've been wanting to find something as realistic as that. And I think that Luca Maffei has done a great job with this one. And you can totally experience what I experienced getting out of that Uber car in a small town in France and smelling the intoxicating smell of the linden blossom bloom everywhere. But along the way you have other white florals here. You have the jasmine, which is nicely blended. It doesn't overwhelm the linden blossom. You also have some neroli, the citrus floral touch in here. Once again, it doesn't overwhelm the linden blossom because in the end this is kind of a linden blossom fragrance. So it's basically to accentuate the smell and to make that smell stand out more, adding some faint smells of jasmine and neroli in here. But you have some musk in here, some spices, and then also some musky, woody notes like cashmere wood to kind of like anchor the fragrance. But this is a linden blossom dream come true. If you're obsessed with that smell and you're looking to find a fragrance that is that smell, you have found it right here. It's Tiglio Mirabilis. Such an authentic smell. Let's go ahead and quickly smell it. I really love it. I mean, ever since that whole experience I keep mentioning in videos when I do a review on a linden blossom fragrance, it's just realistic smell. It's just always, I want to smell more of it because that day means a lot to me because it'll always stay in my memory because that smell, scent memory kind of a thing, is really what I like about that particular day. But this to me is that yellow floral, green floral kind of combo of the linden blossom. It's kind of got a dry grassiness a little bit as well. There's a dryness about it, and also very powdery. There's definitely this powdery, honeyed touch because when you smell linden blossom in real life, you will smell a bit of honey in there. Similar to mimosa because there's a honey touch in there. Same with the linden blossom, but they're totally different smells, but also kind of sort of related because this one also has a little bit of an almondy edge under there. But what a fragrance this is. This is amazing, actually. If you like the idea of spring florals, you got to try Tiglio Mirabilis. Wonderful offering from Laboratorio Olfattivo. And then finally, it's Miss You. This one right here, as you can see, it's with an underscore. Another fragrance created by Luca Maffei. I believe Luca Maffei has created several fragrances for this house. So if you look up in a database or somewhere, you'll see his name come up quite a bit. And these two latest fragrances are created by him as well. Once again, it's 100 ml for $120. This particular fragrance has a familiarity about it, and I'll tell you all about what I'm, smelling that's familiar to me. So it has notes of vanilla, guaiac wood, patchouli, Sichuan pepper, cinnamon, ambroxan, oud, yellow tangerine, bergamot zest. Lots of stuff going on here. In the end, it's vanilla and patchouli that's the king, with the guaiac wood and some spices. And for me, the cinnamon is also pretty prominent, and this is the key. The ingredients that I just read to you, the combination of these notes does remind me a little bit of Musk Ravageur minus the musk. So if you like the idea of Musk Ravageur and you don't like the musk in there, even though the musk has kind of really been toned down as of late via Estee Lauder, this fragrance kind of reminds me of Musk Ravageur minus the muskiness, as I said. So there's no musk here, but all those gourmand touches and, the vanillic touches and the patchouli, the cinnamon, all these notes are kind of prominent in Musk Ravageur, and here it will kind of remind you of that. I feel like the patchouli and vanilla are definitely a lot more amped up in Miss You in comparison to Musk Ravageur, but there's definitely that familiar smell to it that it will be the recognizable smell, especially if you wear Musk Ravageur. They're not identical fragrances, for sure, I should let you know. But in the background, you'll say, okay, that reminds me of Musk Ravageur. But this is a really, really great balsamic fragrance, very vanillic and also kind of resinous, but not quite. There's definitely an ambery edge to the fragrance, but the patchouli and the vanilla, along with the guaiac wood and the cinnamon, are what's running the show here. And it's quite delicious. And I'm a fan of Musk Ravageur for sure. And I've been mentioning in videos that how Estee Lauder has taken over that fragrance, and the musk has kind of been taken away from that fragrance, where it's becoming more and more gourmand. And here it's kind of gourmand, but more amber, lots of vanilla and patchouli kind of a thing, but super, super delicious. And again, if you are looking for an alternative, Musk Ravageur is so expensive, and this is only $120. Either way, this is Miss You from the house of Laboratorio Olfattivo. Let's go ahead and quickly smell that as well. Lots of vanilla and a creamy, creamy guaiac wood in here. But definitely the earthy patchouli is there. It's quite prominent for sure. And there's a bit of a holiday vibe. And with that cinnamon in this, I'm getting a tad bit of a holiday vibe. And I like that, I like that warm coziness, because cinnamon, warm, vanilla, warm. And then also the guaiac wood has that kind of creamy warmth to it. It's definitely very holiday-ish, but in a cozy way, relaxing. Maybe the day before all the festive stuff happens, kind of a thing. You're sitting next to a fire wearing something warm and spritzing on a Miss You all over yourself. But either way, that's my thoughts on Miss You from the house of Laboratorio Olfattivo. What are your thoughts on these fragrances? Have you sampled them yet? Do let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. There's that sample set giveaway. You're going to get a sample of each of the fragrances from Ministry of Scent. Three samples to 3 winners, subscribers of this channel from the USA. Ministry of Scent only ships to the USA. So what you're going to have to do is put down a comment and let me know what you liked about the video, and let me know which fragrance sounds the best to you. And also please put down your states, or the state that you're in, and then that's pretty much it. Good luck with the giveaway, and do let me know what your thoughts are on this house, Laboratorio Olfattivo. My favorite is still Vanagloria, but these are really solid fragrances. In case of the citruses, the Viaggio in Italia collection, definitely Mandarino and Arancia Rossa are my favorites. Those are number 1 and number 2. And then Pompelmo was number 3. But the house has got a lot of different fragrances and really wonderful offerings. And again, they're not that expensive. Well, they're not cheap, but some designer fragrances, as I was saying, are getting close to $200. So these are $120. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.